What's going on, people? This is Epic Guy Radio. This is WTIM. I'm your host, Tad Al. Uh, Coming back at you, one more again. So today we got a different subject. I started doing my Kevin Samuels suit because I had a suit on today, but I said, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I always felt, he was look kind of tight, in the suits. I want to be comfortable, especially when I'm talking to you all about all of this. So anyhow, today our subject is about it's called Every Little Step I Take. This is about how our lives play out based off of our choices. You know, I got a lot of people asking me, they said, well, you talked about, you know, uh the fall of the black man today. You talked about the curse on the race. Some of the guys was asking me to speak about the females. I'm gonna do that. I mean, look, we don't want to make them upset with us right off rip. So just like the men, I wasn't easy on the guys either. You know, and there's a lot of hard pills that we have to swallow. You know, as human beings today. One of the people that, I do listen to is Geno Jennings. And he's got a lot of great insight, when it comes down to the human race, spirituality, and things like that. But I'm not here to, change anybody's spiritual beliefs, or anything like that. I mean, everybody has um, a right to, believe what they want to believe. I have no heaven or hell to put nobody in. So I don't, come at people to, um, try to change what they think or what they believe. I try to give facts as they are, you know. Um, as we go on today, uh, feel free to type in questions, concerns, anything that you feel you have the input on what's being said. We'll deal with it right here on Epic Guy Radio. Um, Here shortly, I will have a number for people to call in and speak with me live on camera. So I'm excited about that to start happening. So anyway, let's jump right into this. How our lives play out based off of our choices, And one of the things that comes to mind when I'm touching on this subject is, what are you investing your energy in, your time into? What are you investing your heart into? When I look at the energy that we invest into things, you know, one thing that I keep, and I tell this to a lot of my family members is nobody was put here to live life for somebody else. Granted, there's a catch 22 to that. A lot of us we have children, and you are here to live life for your child, but you're here to raise your child. If you have a spiritual side to yourself, it says train up the child in the way that the child should go. So that is what you're doing. When a baby's born, they don't know the things, the dangers that are out there for them. So you have to stand in the way of those dangers. Um, they can't, they can't feed themselves in the beginning. There's a lot of things that they can't do. So at that point, it's saying of, you have to, live that life for that child, you know. But as the child gets older, You don't have to keep living for that child after you've trained them, after they've hit their head quite a few times, whether it's through school, they got an F, and we'll get into that later on in this segment here, but as these things start to happen in their lives, you don't have to keep living that for somebody else, there comes a time like one of the things that even my son Junior and even my two boys that live with me right now, I tell them, you better be glad we're not animals because animals fight their children to put them out the house. Bears, they'll swing on their cubs. Lions, they'll fight to the death. Birds, they'll throw their children right out of the nest. That's where the saying comes from. You better straighten up and fly right. So at the end of the day, when you're looking at that, it comes back to what are you putting your energy into? Some of us we struggle. We struggle long and hard years, with children that want to continue to be disobedient. You know, um, we don't want to see anything bad happen to them, but you're not here to continue to save them from those troubles. Sometimes, for many of us, you have to let them hit their head so they can learn that lesson. If you don't let them hit the head, they'll never know. Like I was saying about my son that just turned 18. I said he needs to know what it is to have to look for a shelter, or to find some food, a food line or something to that effect, so he'll know, hey man, there was a mattress at my dad's house, and you'll appreciate that mattress when you go lay down in it. You'll appreciate that food that's in that refrigerator when you are out there and you have to look for food or you miss the line, so sometimes we have to let them go through that, and it hurts. It hurts to sit and watch a loved one go through things like that. I look back on the things that my mom tried to, steer me away from, but I was hard headed. I was hard headed. I ended up homeless in Atlanta, Georgia at one point in time. A lot of my family and friends they've seen, the road that I've had to travel and the cross that I've had to bear, and it has not been easy, people, so, but I look at it again, it's what was I putting my energy into? I live a very blessed life today, even to be sitting here talking to you right now. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm well. Everything is working. I have a friend who just had a stroke not too long ago, and it inspires me. Every time I see him on social media, I'm like, oh man, there he go. Like, and my heart pours out to him. I'm not gonna mention names, but a lot of us we know, what's going on, but um, just to still be here and able to do these things, and that's what I'm trying to tell people, like, energy turns into time. What are you spending your time doing? But some people are spending their time sitting there arguing with a spouse or girlfriend or something. Some people are spending their time using drugs, I mean, and one thing about it is time is not stopping for you. So when you're sitting here and you're choosing to decide, hey man, man, I'm just gonna smoke this blunt right now. Okay, I mean, you have a whole world out there, so just recently, I visited Puerto Rico and I visited Africa, and it's like wow, this is deep to have seen those things. And even when it was time for me to get on the plane and come home, I didn't want to come back. I really didn't. Like it was that deep, like and we take a lot of things for granted because when you look at these other countries and things like that, a lot of them they're trying to get here. And you're here and you're like, man, I want to go over there, So it's a topsy turvy thing, man, But I know when I was in Puerto Rico, you know, to see some of the things like the hotel that I was staying in, like right next door, like we were connected to a building that was literally blown out, like from the war. Like you could still see the black marks, the burn marks on the walls. The floor was blown out, and you could see the black marks and everything on the walls from like bombs and things, you know. And it was like, wow, like, and you're looking at this stuff, and it's like that's crazy, like, and you're wondering, like, and you know that like somebody died in that war in that building, you know, and you're staying next door to it, and it is, you know, and to see the pride and a lot of the people over there. There was a man, he was playing his horn, and it was just so serene. Like you're sitting there and you're looking at the ocean and you're listening to this man play this horn, and you just don't even want to move, man. And somebody's bringing you food, and you know, I mean, you just is, and the food is good, you know. So, but you know, it was really nice, and to experience that, then to go to Africa, and it's like just to really see how Africa was, you know, like you can see like the things that come from Africa, the traditions, and man, is, you know, but I'm not here to talk to you. I can go on all day long, you know, about the experiences, you all, but it was very eye opening, and it was a humbling experience, man. You know, then you gotta look at what you're investing your heart into, just like the things I'm telling you about right now. You know, these things change your heart. They change the way you look at things, the way you view things. You know, a lot of people sit and they wonder, Mike, I mean, why Tim just, you know, he ain't even listening to me. You know, he ain't, it's not that I'm not listening to you. You just get to a point where you start realizing that don't even matter. You know, like, I mean, I hear you. You know, I hear you, and I'm not gonna argue with you. You know, that's your truth in that moment. You know, one of the things about me is that, you know, like on Facebook, I don't do dialogue on social media. You know, I'll post something, and you know, people are free. You're free to post whatever you want. You know, so it can't be negativity. You know, somebody posted something on my page a few days back, and they were calling black people niggers on something that I posted. I took it right down, you know, because I mean we're not doing that, you know. If you don't like the post, that's fine. You know, I'll put that up there, and I'll leave your thing up there. I'll let everybody else decide what they want to say to you. You know, I'm not going to say anything else. I put my post up there. It's one of those things. I said what I said. You know, so some people, they might or might not like it, you know, but it's there. You know, I don't get too many dislikes. I've had some disagreements, you know, and a person that doesn't necessarily agree with something that I said, you can contact me personally and we can discuss that. You know, I'll do that all day with you, you know, but I'm not going to do it, you know, on social media. You know, again, that's energy, wasted energy, you know. And plus, it's not, you know, what me and you have to talk about. It's nobody else's business. It's not the business of the rest of the world, you know. Um, and I'm not going to let people, you know, infringe upon what you think and what you believe. You know, now what you choose to entertain, that's your choice. But you know, I'm not going to, you know, if you disagree with something I said, you had that right. You know, so, and I'm gonna leave you with that. But one of the things in investing your energy, your time, and your heart on something. I remember something that Oprah Winfrey and Jay-Z, they both said it. Well, it was two different things, but they it was along the same lines. You know, I remember Oprah Winfrey said, everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. She used hers to become a billionaire. What are you using your 24 hours for? And that's something really to sit and think about, when you're talking about what you do on a daily basis, how you go about life. There was a time where I woke up and I just went round about, just, find some trouble to get into today, find some weed to smoke, like, I mean, these were my daily activities, and I wasn't doing nothing. I really wasn't. And see, people wonder how they get to these places. You wonder, how you get so far away from the porch, you know. Um, but one of the things, and Jay-Z said, you know, I'm from Marcy Projects, but today I'm a billionaire. Because he said, I hear guys all the time talk about, man, the system, did this to me, my environment, it's because this was around me, that was around me. But this man, he came from the same thing we came from. So that lets me know it's a focus thing. It's a focus. Is what is your focus? What are you about? People can say, "Oh, well, he was selling dope." Man, you know how many people out here sell dope? I'm sold dope. You know what I'm saying? Back when I was younger, got in trouble for it, did my time, all of that, got caught with drugs, everything. So that has nothing to do with where you choose to go. You know, a lot of people don't choose to go somewhere because they're not aware, mainly of who they are, what their purpose is. So when you don't know what your purpose is, it makes it hard for you to head in a certain direction. You know, um, another thing I heard Jay Z said is everything that happens to us is for our greater good. I've said this to people quite a few times. Most people, they don't agree with me. Some people don't. A lot of people do, but for the most part, I've heard people say, I don't really agree with that, Tim. And that's fine. But you got to think about it. If you didn't go through what you went through, would you be here today? Would we be sitting here talking? There's some people I know that are dead. They didn't even get past, the gunshots, Um, so, it's like whether you believe it or not, everything that you have gone through has helped you today. It I've been to prison, and if I didn't go, especially this last time that I went, almost 7, 8 years ago, like, would I have changed? What would have happened if I didn't go? What would have happened if none of this that ever came about? What would I have done then? Would I have realized where I was heading in life if I didn't get that time to say, "Hey man, look, I got to change something here." And that's why I say, it was good for me to go sit down. I was able to actually see my creator, talk with my creator, and shut everything down. It was so bad, man. Even the guards and the inmates, everybody knew the man, leave dude alone. He ain't on it. Like, I didn't have I was in perfect peace the last time I was locked up. And it gave me the time I need to get on the right track. A lot of people, they don't use it for that. Just yesterday, and it's wild because just yesterday I was asked to be involved in prison ministry, and I accepted. And I just thought that it was amazing because I can see what my creator is doing with me. It's like everything from my past, he is taking that and he's cleaning it up, and I'm thankful. And that's why I keep telling people I'm so blessed. I it makes me want to cry most of the time to realize how blessed I am, and it's like, wow, man, like I'm this is just amazing. Um Your choices, they help you create who you are today. They do. I mean, like, you can make a choice, but you have to understand too that you got to live with your choice. The choices that you make today, you have to live with them tomorrow. And it's not gonna go. And the older you get, the choices you make with as the older you get, the more lasting those choices are. You know, um, when you're younger, you can say, I'm going to jump off of these monkey bars, and you got to deal with that broken finger, broken arm, or something, skid your knees. Some of us we tried to jump ramps with bikes, and I mean, man, that was the choice we made. We played football, got hurt. Those were minor choices. And when we're younger, you don't have a whole lot of choices to make because you're at home, you're living with your parents, your mom, your dad, maybe both. But the more F's you get, you gotta live with that later. If you don't learn how to count, you gotta count later. I mean, and these are the choices that come about. Then you get older. You start liking girls, you start liking boys. And the next thing you know, you decide, hey, look, he, we was kissing and it was feeling good, and I want to feel something else now. Like it's waking up a lot of things inside of me, And next thing you know, y'all done set up here and did the do, and here come a baby. You know, that's a choice. You got to live with that. You know, um, a lot of choices um, that people make, like when you look at crime. Most crime is committed as a result of failures. A lot of people don't realize that. But it's like what somebody didn't accomplish in life, that's where most of your crime comes from. When there was something you wanted to do, you really wanted to do it. Um, you might have wanted to play basketball, you didn't make it somewhere. You didn't make it, you didn't make the team, you didn't make the cut, or you didn't make the grades to play. But you wanted to live how you wanted to live. That you can't have your cake and eat it too. So at the end of the day, you choosing to go that route, it puts you in peculiar positions. Later on, you know, some people had children and they couldn't go. They were good enough, but they were good enough to play, but then they had a kid, and you got to take care of the kid, So that became an issue for some people, you know. I mean, it could be, just different things, man, that stop you from accomplishing some of the things that you wanted to accomplish, And when that happens, it's like that those failures, they play on you. They play on your heart. It goes back to that heart thing, Um, you don't, you can't make money like some people. A lot of us, some of the guys that I knew when I was growing up, they wanted to become NBA players. There was a ton of us, and most of us were good. I mean, we had some good ballers, man. Sean, Barnett, Craig, Ed. I mean, we had some good ballers, man. Nate Clark, and I mean, there was some good ballers, but we chose a different path, And when we chose that path, of course, there went the dream, the big money dollars and everything like that. Sometimes that might have been for the best for a lot of us, Um, I know back when I was younger, I had a cocaine addiction, and there's no telling if I would have had millions of dollars. Like you look at Len Bias, I mean, he this dude, he sat there and he went and started doing cocaine, and his heart blew. on his way, got drafted by the Boston Celtics. So I mean, you gotta look at that. So, and this is why I sit up here like today. I have my chemical dependency counselor certification. And I fight to try to help people that have drug addiction. Like that's a major thing for me. To help. Because I had a lot to do with a lot of lives going in a different direction. And I would hope that some of the people from back when I was younger, can see what we've done to other people, not just other people, some of our own people. I look at my children, what kind of impact my choices were having on them, and you gotta look at that stuff. Can you imagine? I mean, when I look back on it and to realize that my child lost me for 4 years, for 5 years, then total 8 to 10 years. Man, come on, man. You can't tell me that's not an impact on a child, to have lost your father. And I was just talking with my sister and my son and my brother-in-law today. I said, look, I think that, and I don't, in no way do I blame my dad. My dad, he's a great guy. Uh, but I think that, and this is just me personally. This is just me personally. I'm not saying that this is set in stone, but I think that if my father had more hands on with what I was doing in my life, like coming to my basketball games and stuff like that, I think that might have went a different way. I might, maybe, I don't know. I can't, I'm not going to put that on my dad though. Um, it's just like Jay-Z said one time, his uncle told him, you'll never sell a million records. I mean, like, those are your fears. You can't tell me what I'm going to do. If I believe I can do it, like, how you going to put your fear off on me? That's your fear. You not going to sell a million records. And like he said, look today, I sold a million records a million times. So I mean, this is just stuff that you have to look at, going on in life. Even with relationships, you have to look at, who you have kids with, how many kids you have. That plays a part in how your life turns out. Um, some people, they have children. I was in a relationship one time, and I'm so glad I didn't have kids with this woman. Like, I'm not saying names. I'm not here to, lash out at anybody. Like, I have no problems with nobody. I wish everybody well. I'm thankful. You know. So, but again, um, this is, you have to look at that. These are your choices. Because if there's some people out there who had children with the baby's father from hell or the baby's mother from hell. Like, they've had that. And they're dealing with it to this day. I've seen things on Facebook, man, where it was just ridiculous. I'm like, why? First of all, and I'm gonna say this, people, please, by all means, because there was one young lady, and I see her all the time. I something tells me all the time, just unfriend her, you know. But you just never know when somebody is going to want some honest, true advice from you. And I see her, and she's on there, like I'm gonna do this to somebody. You want to meet me over at TT Tata's house or whatever? Like, and I'm like, why are you on social media? And don't get me wrong, I used to be on that. That was I was a little immature, you know, and but you have people that do that. And I tell people all the time, man, like, stop putting your business on social media, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't have nothing to do with anybody else, you know. But again, even that, you know, you can't take that back, man. You know, you can't take it back. Once you got that out there, you know, and they, I'm a good mother, you know. I mean, like, why do you feel the need to have to come out here and tell everybody? You know, are you? You know, I mean, or are you trying to convince yourself? You know, it, it's not for me to say whether you are or whether you're not. You know, I don't know. I'm not around you. I don't want to be around you like that. But hey, you know, anyhow, you know, your choices, educational and occupational, have a lot to do with how things turn out for you in the future. You know, I'll never forget it, man. You know, one time, my boy's mother, I had came home. I was locked up, and I came home, and I didn't want to sell drugs. You know, I didn't want to do none of that anymore. And um, those of you from Columbus, Ohio, can, you know, they know. And then I just heard that one of the places I went to, the White Castle on Alum Creek, I heard it was shut down, and I'm like, wow, really, you know. But I look back on it, and that was one of the places that I went to. Went to the Burger King on West Fifth, and I went to the White Castle on Alum Creek. And this, I was around, I want to say I was around maybe 30 years old, somewhere around there. But I had already did so much in my life, you know, that when I got to that point, I just, it didn't matter. I didn't care. I didn't want to go back out here on the streets trying to, you know, hustle and, you know, everything like that. So I was ready to work anywhere, you know, and to have been turned down by both of those places, that hurt my feelings. It really did. I was like, wow, like, I can't even flip burgers, you know, and I felt cornered, you know, at that time. And of course, you know, right back to the same old 1-2 step, you know, and that is that really, at that time, again, that goes back to, you know, most crime is committed, you know, as a result of failures, you know. So, and that's proof in the pudding right there, you know. But to overcome these things, you know, like I said today, just being blessed in the way that I'm blessed today, you know, it and to see what my creator is doing, you know, with my life, you know, I want you all to know I am here for you at all, anytime. If you have any questions or concerns about any of my podcasts, man, reach out to me. I'm here for you. I love you all. You know, this is Epic God Radio, y'all. I'm coming at you from a different point of view. I'm not coming here to judge anybody. I'm here to help everybody. You know, so just remember, man, rise above all of this. This is Epic God Radio, WTIM. I am your host, Tad Al. Thank you for tuning in and listening tonight. I will see you later.